welcome back to another Fallout 4 settlement tour video. I'm here with Chance, who hasn't been on the channel in a long time.
What was it, like 5 years now?
2016 maybe. So I think the last official appearance was the Fallout 3 stream.
Oh
where you
yeah.
just hopped on voice chat. But yeah, we're going to be touring a Halloween build that I've made at a custom location at Lynn Woods, which is in the northern, the spooky part of the map, where there's lots of scary locations like the insane asylum and the witch museum. So yeah, it's a rather spooky location.
Just think, I thought I explored everything whenever I played Fallout 4.
Yeah, I've pretty much gone through the entire map with a fine-tooth comb.
I thought I have, but I guess I haven't.
But I have a custom backstory for this settlement. This is a trading post and memorial cemetery for the Minutemen. There's some helpful directions here, and a rather beautiful fall landscape.
Did you add that yourself, or?
Yeah, that's a mod that retextures with a lot of it. Trying to look more like fall. And of course here you have to stay away from the cliff edge because that's dangerous. And Lynn Woods Memorial Cemetery. Traders welcome ahead. And as the frame rate erodes, here is the entrance. But as you may know, in this area of the game there's a bunch of Deathclaws, but the Minutemen have made this a secure area by some special means of keeping the Deathclaws out. We'll see more of that later. And here is the sign I've made for it. If the texture would load, you could see that it says Home of the Pumpkin Festival.
What is a pumpkin?
Something weird that the Minutemen created. Some type of orange fruit that looks a lot like wilburs. Maybe it's like a subspecies. And then you can see this familiar face.
Oh snap!
It says, "Come see the pint-sized slashers, Maze of Horror." We'll see more of that in a bit.
That's awesome.
And of course, since in the game I sided with the railroad, synths are welcome. And as I've mentioned, this is a completely custom location. All that was here was some raider shacks and the stone tower, which is actually in the real world. It was built in the 30s as a fire watch tower.
Now that I didn't know, actually.
So where should we go first? Well, I guess we'll check out the public market here. While Coco tries to do rock climbing with a chair. So I imagine this is where the caravans and traders come to get good deals and trade.
Stonks.
As you can see, some spooky boys here.
Spook.
And obviously no smoking, because smoking is bad for you. Got this guy trading his wares back there. And this is just a little area for the wandering travelers to rest and relax after a long day traversing the Commonwealth. And we'll go take a look inside the shack. Just a nice little scrap-built shack. Except, who's that behind there?
Oh my, if you didn't point that out, I would have never seen that.
This is a sign of things to come. But thankfully it's just a costume, not the actual pint-sized slasher. And of course the Minuteman propaganda. The general is fighting for America. It's General Nate riding a Yaogwai.
How heroic.
Well, he did save the Commonwealth from the Institute and Brotherhood after all.
That's true.
And by the way, the Brotherhood's dead in my game.
Oh really?
I destroyed them since Maxon is a little bitch. But yeah, basically we killed the Brotherhood and the Institute and stole a bunch of their stuff to help the people of the Commonwealth. And up here, of course, we have more propaganda and happy kitties.
Yeah.
This is Martin the trader's house, his newly found name. It's a nice little, somewhat pre-war apartment with more propaganda, join or die, which is actually drawn by Ben Franklin during the Revolutionary War. And since the Minutemen have the Revolutionary War feel to them,
Yeah.
they reuse some of that old propaganda. And more propaganda. I actually forgot I put that there. That's how much propaganda I put up. I can't keep track of all of it.
Dang.
I'll leave Martin to do his work.
Now, what would you say your favorite part is that you've done on this one?
Might be the church, because that's where the spooky stuff is.
Okay.
So we can go into the tower next. First, see the water. The water pump is haunted.
Ooh, spooky.
I actually just discovered that today. It was a glitch when I was moving a settler, but I kept it since it's kind of Halloween themed.
Yeah.
As you can see, this is where water is processed by the very helpful sign here. And also have some powered pumps that get water for the farm here that I've seen a little bit.
Casper thirsty. B.
Yeah. And then we can see another spooky boy there. And a floating spooky boy that is an immersive. Thing I do with this settlement is make everything as realistic and immersive as possible. So that's a big thing, immersion.
I can tell you now, you've pretty much got it down.
Because like I have to make sure nothing is floating. I guess that can be explained. He's haunted or something. It's a ghost. And here is the armory. I'm trying to think of the word. It's like a defensible position in case there is an emergency. And like we have all the important supplies in here. Fortified area.
Yeah.
And here, the door will close by itself. Thanks to a very helpful mod that closes the doors. I'll turn on the power here. And here is the lower level of the storage area. Another spooky boy there. Just basic supplies, purified water, of course a bunch of cola because that's very vital.
It's like Dr. Enough and have vitamins in it.
Yeah. And a nice little teddy bear keeping an eye on the supplies. You can see a blurry Brotherhood logo.
Oh, okay.
Because let's see where this came from.
Oh,
Fresh
okay.
from the capital wasteland.
It took me a second, but yeah. For some odd reason, my eyes getting caught on the Deathclaw skin that's sitting on top of it.
Well, there's an explanation for that. It ties in with the lore.
Oh, really?
Since we've kept the Deathclaws out, there must have been a few stragglers that came and got killed by the Minutemen. It was justified because they were trying to protect the people.
Yeah.
But yeah, here's some Aqua Pura barrels that we stole from the Brotherhood. Fresh from the capital wasteland. Just a bunch of crates of storage. Sugar bombs, of course. And some Institute food rations. Wonder where those came from. Perhaps we'll find out. And of course the proud Minuteman flag hanging up to show who has made it safe. And up here we have the workshop armory area. It's got lots of weapons. Got a painted Institute pistol with Minuteman colors, various weapons. Some stolen from raiders here, like the handmade rifles, which are basically just AK-47s, but kind of sounds more Fallout-y to call it handmade rifle. And some of them have Minuteman logos on them.
Nice.
Although I think that one, it's backwards. Yeah, the lightning bolt's the wrong way. And even some dynamite there.
Would you look at that?
And here are some other uses for the Deathclaws. Take one of their hands and make a useful Deathclaw gauntlet. And using the Wasteland Survival Guide, thanks to Moira Brown and the Lone Wanderer, I just noticed that someone was in the bush there. That's
someone in the bush.
I wonder if Moira drew these herself.
I didn't realize how like meme-ish those stickers look.
Well, Moira drew them, so that kind of makes sense why they look like that. It's quite an interesting character. And here we have some weapon magazines for how to modify weapons. Another one of the handmade rifles. And some propaganda here. Ranger Dave says, always be prepared. We'll see him later. Some guides to help you getting the drop on communists.
Dang commies.
And yeah, just a nice little compacted armory. And on the next level, we've got some storage.
Is that Tide?
I think it's antifreeze.
Okay.
I think it's like super thaw.
I saw the green balls.
That's kind of like
game.
Yeah, I think like the game in the Fallout universe would be a Praxo.
Yeah.
And here we have one of the new things made by the Minutemen. General Nate's mind-blowing donuts. 100% guaranteed to make you smarter.
I'm not gonna lie, that donut box and that donut looks really good. Reminds me of the frosted animal crackers.
It sounds really good, actually. It's kind of just like the stereotypical Homer Simpson donut. And then some more communist propaganda. Beware the Red Death. And some more stolen Aqua Pura. Up on the next level, we have some power armor that we're working on. With more propaganda, of course, even though it's kind of outdated. Just a little power armor workshop, working on some C-51 power armor with some other pieces mixed in. Not really sure why there's ammo up here. Don't really need that with power armor.
Maybe putting guns on the power armor, like, you know.
Be pretty badass.
Right.
And up here is the top level, where we have one of the elite Minuteman forces, the Minuteman Ranger. These are elite troops trained by General Nate himself that protect the Commonwealth, and you may recognize the clothes he's wearing, and the name kind of gives it away. He's wearing the Ranger gear from Fallout New Vegas.
Oh yeah.
And this is technically immersive, because before the war that was like pre-war riot gear, but I've made my own version of the NCR Rangers with the Minuteman Rangers. Got this really cool looking Minuteman sniper rifle. I really like the American flag there, it looks cool.
Not gonna lie, it really does.
And then here is one of the ways that we keep Deathclaws out. We'll flip this circuit breaker later, but basically what it does is, if you go on the outside, you can see these speakers placed strategically on each of the poles. And my reasoning behind this lore is that like they're beaming a high frequency, like where humans can't hear it, and that keeps the Deathclaws away somehow.
It's like a dog whistle.
Yeah, sort of. Like, it's inspired by the place in Spectacle Island, where you keep the mirelurks off the island by starting up a signal that keeps them away.
Yeah.
As you can see, each speaker is powered for immersion. This doesn't actually do anything, but it's there to create immersion for it.
Yeah.
How many times I've said immersion in this video.
Keep a tally.
Basic supplies here: ham radio to radio in case he sees raiders or Deathclaws coming, and this console is to help with the speakers. Fire extinguisher in case everything goes tits up.
Turn up.
You want it to be turned up, not tits up. It's basically like the more vulgar version of saying belly up.
Pretty much.
I say because it sounds funnier.
I like it. 10 out of 10.
And yeah, that's the tower. Next we will go to the gift shop, I guess.
Now, how long would you say you worked on the tower alone?
Probably maybe 48 consecutive hours or more. Well, actually, probably more like a few days. It's like adding different details. And here we have the spikes in case the Deathclaws try to invade this place. They'll get impaled. These very deadly, rusty spikes.
Don't need a tetanus shot.
Yeah. Scare them away with threats of tetanus. And here we have the gift shop, decorated for Halloween. And I imagine this would be like a gift shop from the pre-war Lynn Woods Park, and it's now just another general store and also a museum. You can see some spooky boys with a spooky vault boy.
Spoopy.
Then some rather spooky teddies sitting here.
I'm not gonna lie, the red eyes is just absolutely just so gruesome.
In Fallout 76 you can find a teddy bear like that, and it's called a teddy fear.
I understand why.
Eyes. And this one's called Little Ginger Snuggles, I think. They all have funny names. Then we have the candy bowl for Halloween whenever the kids of the settlement want to trick-or-treat, even though there's not technically any kids here. And it seems some asshole stole the candy. I'm gonna have to put more out.
Wait, so there's no kids in this area?
I imagine like in the lore they're like the settlers have kids, but like I could have gotten a mod to add child settlers, but
Because I saw that person with the pumpkin on his head, and to be honest, I thought that was a kid right there.
it does kind of look like a kid. He's randomly gardening. For some reason that particular settler just starts farming in random areas for no reason. Like sometimes it's here, like at the stairs. Anyway, let's go into the store. Got some Halloween banners there too, and some spooky scary skeletons hanging.
Spoopy army.
There should be like a string attached there, that I think it's where the textures are low resolution. Like usually these are HD textures, but since I built a lot of stuff, all the textures are kind of low resolution to optimize the game performance. And in here we have the Lynn Woods Museum and Gift Shop. Although there isn't really like any toys to buy or souvenirs, but we converted it into a museum about the pre-war history of Lynn Woods. Since the tower was a fire tower, we have some pre-war firefighter stuff to display here. Got a hydrant, a more modern fire tower, firefighter protectron, and a fire truck. Then here we have some pre-war firefighter gear. And here we have some more of the post-war history, more about Deathclaws, and this cool texture that I made, the evolution of the Deathclaw. As you may know, the Deathclaw actually mutated from the Jackson chameleon, so this is the evolutionary stages, and you may recognize him as the Fallout 3 Deathclaw.
Yeah.
Some Deathclaw DNA specimens. Then a mounted Deathclaw head, which is for some reason really shiny. I'm not sure why, that's like a texture glitch. For some reason some of the taxidermy items are shiny.
They got wax over it.
Yeah, possibly. Then a replica of the Lynn Woods stone tower. Then a nice Bob Ross style painting of the forest area.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
I'm not sure if that's actually Bob Ross, but it sort of looks like his work.
I'm about to pull up a picture. Just find out.
Then we have our trader here, who's just named Settler. I probably should have named him Trader. And here we have some candy for the non-existent kids that exist here in lore. And behind here, oh yeah, we also have a Christmas card, because it's getting close to Christmas time. And perhaps we'll see where that came from in a future tour video.
Ooh, hint towards the future.
Here we just have some basic supplies, like then some more spooky boys and a noose. It's mainly just for Halloween decorations. Suicide is never the answer. Nooses should only be used for Halloween decorations.
Spoopy.
I think originally it had like a skeleton hanging from the noose, but
I was about to say, the only reason why you should use a noose is to hang up your spoopy skeletons from the skeleton army. Or do you ever watch American Dad?
Yeah.
One episode. What's the alien's name again?
Roger.
Roger, yes. Roger actually uses a noose for his back. It's really good for him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, do you remember that episode?
Yeah, I've seen like the first 5 seasons, I think.
Yeah.
It's a good show. It's like Family Guy's nicer younger brother.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because Family Guy's kind of just edgy and mean-spirited a lot, but American Dad has sort of a lighthearted feel to it.
Paprika.
Then here we have the bathroom, some cleaning supplies with a Braxo, and don't eat that because it probably doesn't taste good. So whenever I see a Braxo, I think of that holotape in Vault 114 where it was like from before the war, where they're interviewing people for the position of overseer. The crazy homeless guy, Soup Can Harry, said he likes to eat a Braxo because he didn't want to listen to what the government said. The government says not to eat a Braxo, but he ate it anyway. But yeah, some candles in case it's extra smelly.
I feel that. Donut mix.
And then here,
oh,
we have a rather spooky surprise in the toilet.
You did that on purpose, didn't you?
Yeah, and the toilet paper is actually the right way, thanks to a mod. And yeah, a nice little picture to look at while you use the toilet. Might help you if you're having trouble peeing, seeing all that water.
Waterfalls.
And here is a sort of break area for the settlement. Got a soda fountain, a coffee machine from Slocum's Joe. And here, General Dave's holiday eggnog. That's supposed to say General Nate. That's the same Dave from the Ranger Dave poster.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's actually a YouTuber. He does follow for settlements, and I actually gave him the idea to make an eggnog bottle made by his character, who's called General Dave. He made eggnog in real life and made like labels for General Dave's holiday eggnog. He sent me one of the bottles since I helped him with the idea.
Really?
Yeah, he's really cool. And here we have some Halloween-themed dinnerware. Someone's having some noodles and a Nuka-Cola, sugar bombs.
Someone has good taste. I love eating
Food is glorious.
Now, what is sugar bombs? I never really got the concept. Is it cereal or is it like just straight up sugar?
Sort of both. The motto is 100% daily value of sugar. So it's supposed to be like nuclear bomb shaped cereal because of like the atomic age. I have a theory that it's actually just sugar shaped into bombs.
What in the world?
Yeah, that's pre-war America for you.
Putting sugar cereal to a whole new level.
Not that far off from our real world.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
And that is pretty much it for the gift shop. It's a nice little stop to get some stuff to buy. Make sure not to steal all the candy.
I can't say much because as a kid, I was one of those kids that just took the entire bowl.
I admit I kind of stole 2 or 3. Oh, there he is, farming in front of the gift shop. So I guess we'll go to the... yeah, what the hell. We'll go to the farm. As you saw, we have the water here and the haunted water pump.
Spooky.
And here we just have a bunch of razor grain and some other food like mute fruit. Oh, and got a preview of a name of a character that I made.
Mr. Spoopy.
And some mute fruit. I imagine like these taste like grapes.
I was actually just about to ask you, what would you think those would taste like?
Usually post-war food doesn't really look that good, but mute fruit actually kind of looks good. It's like a big bunch of grapes or something.
I figured it tastes like a mixture of a plum and a peach for some odd reason.
Well, apparently they do have a grape flavor because I think in Fallout 4 you can craft grape flavored mentats and like you have to use mute fruit.
Yeah, that's true. I know. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, they probably
and there's also the tar berries. And they're kind of like sort of look like cranberries, but purple.
Yeah. And
here at the end of the farm, we have the pint-sized slasher's maze of horror. And again, it's just another mannequin, but it's a prop. And this is why the kids would be here, to go through the maze of horror. You can get your tickets here from Mr. Spooky, a modified Mr. Handy who has a witch hat from a mod that I made. It's based off this robot in Fallout 76 you can find. His name is Jack-o'-lantern, and he has a little witch hat.
Oh, really?
And like the place he's at is actually called the Pumpkin House. There's a lot of carved pumpkins there. Whatever those pumpkin things are. Just has a bunch of wovers there.
Yeah, whatever a pumpkin is.
Pumpkin. I'm not sure how to say it.
Pumpkin?
Poopkin. Might be
a poopkin.
Might not be advertiser friendly to say that, but fuck it. Even though I've been swearing throughout the whole video. But yeah, he sells tickets here. And Abraxo, apparently.
Don't eat it. Actually, eat it, depending on your roles against the government.
Yeah. Oh, another thing about Soup Harry is he didn't like to wear pants. Like when they elected him as overseer, he said, "I don't expect to wear no tie. Wear pants." And yeah, this is a Halloween-themed fall attraction for the kids of the wasteland to come and see some of the pre-war Halloween traditions. And that's actually a real knife, so just be careful not to run into that.
Just a kid starts running and just trips. Oops!
And yeah, find the end of the maze to win. But this is the maze of horror, so we'll see what type of horror. This is where it gets kind of possibly jump scary. You don't have the headphones on, there's not really any noise, so
okay.
So it's kind of visual jump scares, such as this. You have to make it through the maze and avoid the pint-sized slasher.
Does he actually like chase you?
No, it's just a mannequin.
Oh, like that would be terrifying. Like if you constantly just like walking around and sees you chases you.
Yeah, since this is a custom settlement location, the way that the NPCs move around is already buggy since I modified this place a lot.
Yeah.
So sadly I wouldn't be able to have like an actual moving pint-sized slasher. And this one is actually pint-sized, unlike the others, child size approximately.
Yeah, it is actually.
And a scarecrow, which isn't actually doing much to scare away the crows, but I added them for spooky.
I thought you were gonna shoot them.
They're actually a settlement decoration and not an actual NPC.
Oh, okay.
I think so, at least. Behind here, you can see something rather disturbing.
A gnome.
Two kids that got lost in the maze. And yeah, they're actually kids.
Oh my god. Maybe it was those kids that took all the candy and the gnomes decided he put it upon himself to handle the children.
Kind of left this up to your interpretation. Either it was the Teddy Fear, this creepy little Frankenstein teddy bear, or the gnome, or the electrical hazard. It's a mystery of how these children died. But that's what you get when you steal candy.
Like if you think it was the gnome, comment if you think it was electricity.
Or I guess just comment below who you think killed the children. I have a really delicious looking sweet roll.
I'm not gonna lie, I was thinking it to myself the entire time, like, dang, I really want a cinnamon roll now.
I actually installed a mod that makes the sweet roll look a lot more appetizing. Because the one in the vanilla game is just, it looks like a clamshell. Then could this be the end of the maze? Another dead end. I imagine like whenever you run into these, you have to like go back to the start of the maze. Or maybe that's why the kids died. They cheated the maze. They got caught by the slasher, but didn't follow the rules.
Big F in the chat, guys.
I actually got lost in the maze for a second. Forgot where it was and I built it. It's not a very complex maze, but it's meant for children, so.
Yeah.
Then another slasher. Then here we win. We can take our token and get a prize. It's one of the old token machines we stole from Nuka World. Whenever General Nate killed all the raiders there. Have you played Nuka World yet?
I have not.
That's really cool. A lot of the DLCs are really cool.
Yeah, actually, the only DLC I played that Fallout has released is the one with like the mothership.
Oh yeah, Mothership Theta.
Yeah.
That one's fun. We actually may see a little bit of that in the build. And here we have a familiar face.
Hey, there we go. Now that's what I'm talking about.
Jack's Pumpkin Shack. Farm fresh all year guaranteed. A house of scares. It's not really a house, it's literally a shack. But here we have all the beautiful wilburs growing. I don't know what those pumpkin things are, but these are wilburs. The poopkin. But you may notice for the wasteland, these are surprisingly fresh and big. Thick. That's what she said.
Thick.
These are what wasteland produce usually look like, but some things seem to be growing really well. I wonder what could be causing that. Fresh, almost pre-war looking wilburs. And we have some more Halloween decorations. Little reference to The Shining. Red rum. And here we have some pumpkin seeds that you can buy. And we have some scales here to measure them and see how much they'll cost. And here we have this rather scary looking guy, Jack. From Jack's Pumpkin Shack. Some more scales so you can see how much they'll cost. Rather scary carved one, but lots of radioactive materials here.
I don't know about you.
Oh, another radioactive barrel underneath the table.
But if it makes my pumpkins thick, you best believe I'm using some radioactivity.
That brings us to the next part of the build.
Every single time I see those, I think of Avatar.
Oh, these pods?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sort of like those, they're sort of like modular pods that can be assembled. But this color scheme looks a bit familiar. Wonder what faction could have left these behind. Perhaps the Institute? And here is a research outpost from the Institute. From before they got blown up, obviously. And Minutemen have repurposed this for some experiments with the plants. Here we have a decontamination shower. Get rid of all the rads. I want to contaminate the research environment. What could we have here? A remnant of the Institute working for the Minutemen. I imagine like she was out of the Institute like before it blew up and she was doing like field research or something, then sort of like we allowed her to live here as long as she didn't do anything evil like the Institute usually does. Let's see what her research includes.
Oh.
Seems there was a bit of a workplace accident here.
Workman's comp will not cover that.
Built this based on a cutscene from the original Fallout game.
Oh, really?
Let's see if we can pull it up here. Because in the Fallout 1 story, it follows the creation of supermutants on the West Coast. And they were created by dipping them into the forced evolutionary virus. And there's like a cutscene where it shows someone being dipped in there and then their hand disintegrates. You can see some experiments going on. Wonder what that green gas could be that's emanating to help these wilburs grow. So it seems that these wilburs that have been planted and wastelanders are buying for the season, they actually appear to be genetically modified. But by what? We'll find out. Here we have a reactor here to provide power to the settlement. I think this is actually, this is the switch for all the main power of the settlement.
So I'm guessing if you flip that switch, everything's just going to be dark.
Yeah, pretty much. But the tower actually has an independent power source, since it's an emergency thing. Wonder what's going on here. It seems that the genetic modification gave the wilburs some interesting side effects.
Dang, you put a lot of work into this. This is crazy.
This might horrify you. Each of these things are individually placed.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like pretty much everything you've seen so far. Every little piece of loot, it's individually placed. Even the fusion cores.
Gosh.
Although this is a prefab though. I use some of those like this one too. Some of it is prefabs, but most of it is just loot that I've placed. It's basically what happens when you have OCD and you want immersive settlements. Kind of obsessive with details.
That's nuts.
But this is part of the story behind the genetically modified plants, and we'll see more of this later. And up here we have one of the guard towers. And some more of the donuts. General Nate's mind-blowing donuts. Got like a little military style barracks here. A bunch of weapons he can throw out. Just throw a battle axe onto a Deathclaw to stop it.
You have to be another level of skill just to toss out an axe and just kill it.
And here we have some of the settlement barracks, or settler barracks, and decorated for Halloween too. Imagine they give out candy to the kids who go around trick-or-treating. Then this is possible foreshadowing for another build. Jamaica Plain fire barrel to keep the room warm. It's a little bit disturbing. 3 mini nukes in their footlocker. Just gonna have to confiscate those. Got another toilet with a spooky surprise. Someone was writing on the walls. Janine was here. Wonder if this is what happened to Janine.
That'd be a shitty way to die.
Precisely. And a poster of the best cat in the Fallout universe, Mr. Pebbles.
First cat in space.
We can go to the top level. Repurposed train car. This is sort of like literally upper class place. It's a little bit more crowded, but clean and close to pre-war television. A rather spooky please stand by screen.
I like that. That's awesome.
I actually had that texture when I was recording some shots for my Halloween intro to videos, but I forgot to delete that texture. Propaganda, of course, with General Nate. And another Happy Kitty picture. And just some military-style bunk beds with propaganda. But be sure not to get spooked while you're sleeping with this.
Oh, there's that string you're talking about.
Yeah, texture finally loaded. And they have some privacy curtains. Even though they all sleep together, I'm not sure why those are there, but... Oh, and for extra immersion, there's the smokestack for the fire to make sure it's realistic.
I got you.
And here we have a sort of fortified outpost as a treehouse. And we have a flag, come and take it, and that's what she said. And this barn door, which is actually kind of dangerous. Imagine coming home late at night, then you open the door and fall down there. It's dangerous. And here we have some more propaganda in one of our Minuteman guards. Yeah, this is a nice little treehouse room with a dangerous door. I like imagine stepping in the candles. And that's actually really dangerous, knocking that down into the tree. So that's not like secured.
Oh, is the next part the church?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And here we have the artillery piece for this element to make sure that the Commonwealth is covered. You call, we answer. We answer with artillery strikes. Got the artillery operator here, and got some weapons there in case he has to engage in close quarters combat. And now, see the main attraction, the church. The whole reason why this place exists. It's called the Church of Peace. War never changes, so why not give peace a chance? And we have some scary ravens here, or crows or something. But some other churches are trying to make their way here. Seems some radicalist children of Adam came and graffitied the church here.
That's crazy.
And like that just looks like glowing pee.
They peed in a bottle while making this.
Usually the Minutemen don't mind children of Adam unless they're radicalist and try to like spread the glow of Adam.
Quite literally.
Plus they're like radioactive and don't want settlers around radioactive people. Here we've got some spooky boys.
Yeet. Make that into a band. The Spooky Boys.
Let's open the big creepy cemetery gate. Some rather spooky decor. Some spooky boys here. And a statue honoring all the Minutemen heroes and railroad heroes that died. And these are actually people in the game, past Minuteman leaders and people that didn't survive the Quincy Massacre.
Paladin Dance.
Yeah. Well, he's dead, but he's actually alive, just hiding.
Yeah.
So when they found out he was a synth, they tried to kill him, but so he's officially dead, but not really. And actually some Easter eggs, because I couldn't find enough names to fit on here. Got Ranger Dave, but he was a Minuteman Ranger. And he does settlement tours with his friend Joel, and we have Private Joel Wilzo. And Joel is actually a film director who made a movie called Norman. So we have Private Norman. Then Captain Walbert, that's Dylan's character. And Sergeant Hub E was actually a friend who gave me the idea for this settlement to build a cemetery here in Lynn Woods, so it's my way of acknowledging his involvement in the creation of this. And others are previous generals of the Minutemen and leaders.
Yeah.
And also some of our allies, with this peculiar face here. That was a meme that Dylan created when he took a picture of himself and like added this filter to it where it blew up his face and created a character called Marvin. He's like a nerd that plays Advanced Warfare. Another spooky decoration. These Halloween decorations seem to have real bones. Wonder if they're actually real. We'll find out when we go into the Undertaker's house. And here we have some mausoleums of some, not really sure who's supposed to be buried here, but probably like high-ranking Minutemen people. Maybe like a railroad one to a memorial thing. Put flowers here to honor them. Another scary decoration. And here's where the coffins are made. It's some chopped wood and assembling them here.
I like how that nuclear is there.
Yeah, he's so close to getting it that he died. And we've got some buried Minutemen soldiers. And here's the Minuteman statue, the oil lamp dangling off the edge of the rifle there. In memory of the fallen, General Becker, General McGann, Colonel Hollis, and Sergeant Hub E. And something possibly unethical that the Minutemen are doing, digging up previous inhabitants.
Ooh, maybe that's where they're getting the skeletons from.
Possibly. Then this pipe that's pumping into this mausoleum. And this is actually the tomb of General McGann, the previous general, and you find his dead body in the castle. So he moved him here to give him a proper burial, but it's currently out of order. I'd well go inside. It's under construction, more specifically, and we'll see why. There's a painting of the previous general. Here is the corpse of General McGann, looking well preserved.
I was just about to say that.
When you find him, he's sort of like kind of decaying, but seems to have been restored. You notice there's actually mist on the ground from that stuff being pumped in. Secret to what that is lies in the church. And now, let's look at the creepy Undertaker's house. Appointment only, but General Nate doesn't care. Here we have our creepy Undertaker and his House of Horrors.
That painting is absolute terrifying.
Well, he seems to be a fan of Pickman's artwork. Wonder what he's cooking there.
Delicioso.
So he seems to be a somewhat reformed raider, and he has a especially creepy face. I imagine he has like a heavy Irish accent.
Right, I was thinking the same exact thing. He's got an accent of some kind.
Let's close this so people don't see the horrors inside. Seems he's making some brain soup with a side of hand and cracking open a fresh skull to get the brain out. That's when it's most juicy.
Fresh.
And yeah, this guy is a former raider, but we didn't execute him for his crimes because he can do work for us. But we make sure to keep an extra eye on him with these security cameras. Make sure he doesn't do anything too suspicious, as long as he keeps creating coffins and creating Halloween decorations using recently dead bodies. Brain jar here. It's like it's in Mountain Dew.
Radiated Mountain Dew.
And yeah, we didn't imprison him or kill him because he does the work here. Here he's got a creepy mannequin that activates randomly. It seems he likes to play with his spine in his sleep.
It reminds me of that worm thing in SpongeBob asking who's at the door.
See feet sticking out. This meat bag.
He's got a foot fetish.
Yeah. And a spine fetish, apparently. And a prostitute fetish. I think it's supposed to be like an Old West prostitute. It's from Nuka World. And here he's got some chemicals to preserve the bodies, like for embalming, or possibly making his brains tastier.
Maybe he doesn't listen to the government either.
Yeah.
Eats a Braxo.
I guess he technically works for the government. The Minutemen are considered a government.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But yeah, this is a secret area. Public isn't allowed to go here. So we let this disturbed individual do his thing, as long as he isn't killing other people and only killing the enemies of the Minutemen. Now into the church. Got a nice little cathedral theme going on with some Minuteman posters there, and some Children of Adam banners that have been graffitied with peace symbols. Make love, not war. It's wise words. Why fight in a war when you can have sex?
Now that's something I can get along with.
We have a donation area. It's to help settlers who can't afford the caps to buy food, and people who need fresh clothes, and maybe like institute scientists or brotherhood members that survived and they just want to live a peaceful life, let them get back on their feet. Here we have Mr. Creeps to greet you. He has a very nice dapper hat.
10 out of 10.
Here we've got some spooky teddy bears with their little baskets to trick or treat. And we've got one of the church employees here cleaning up with an institute broom. Wonder where that came from. Then we've got some more Halloween decorations. Got some scripture and books to read. You can also see we've got a creepy settler be the pastor. Assume he's like a former child of Adam and he suffered radiation poisoning, but he realized that the other children of Adam were insane, so he joined here.
I can see that.
And here I've got some quote-unquote communion wafers and some wine. I'm assuming like after 200 years there's still people around who, and some people like maybe old ghouls remember pre-war religions, like Christianity would still be around.
Yeah.
Then over here we have a quote you may recognize. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give unto him as the thirst of the water of the fountain of life freely. Revelation 21:6.
Oh, Bob Ross picture.
Thought it was fitting since it's
Very
the
peaceful.
quote from Fallout 3 that inspired James and Catherine to work on Project Purity, so we've got a nice clean looking lake there.
Okay, I got you now.
It's like a lot of Fallout 3 references.
Yeah.
So let's head into the basement.
And you said this is custom right here?
Yeah, let's head into the creepy, scary basement. That spooks away behind this door. Just storage. Perhaps we'll see more of the spooks in a minute. Here we've got some Christmas stuff because Christmas is coming up. This is mainly where they store all the donation stuff and supplies for the settlements. Got some toys for the kids. Rather disturbing surgery going on here. Just has a scalpel in his stomach. Comics and Ranger Dave poster. That's what happens if you don't put your Ranger Dave poster up. You get surgery like this poor Teddy. Some games and toys. Baseball cards too. And of course, Happy Kitties.
10 out of 10.
And Mr. Pebbles. Also got some cleaning stuff like toiletries and hygiene related stuff. Then here we have got some food. It's a little bit concerning that there's a beer ad next to all the children's stuff. And over here we've got some medical supplies. Got a bunch of Rad-X because rads aren't rad.
Yo.
Exactly. Here we've got some more clothes for the settlers. Down there you can see we have more of the stolen aqua pura. Here we've got food storage for the settlement. Some bone meal, Soylent Green brand.
Minecraft?
Yeah. I actually found out bone meal is a real thing. Like it's used as fertilizer, like ground up animal bones and other parts.
Really? I had no idea.
And that's why in Minecraft it helps plants grow. Got some more cleaning supplies and workshop stuff. Got another bookshelf to store the books. A little workshop area here. And a nice little fire barrel. Some random stuff we stole from the Brotherhood.
Is that one of the bottles right there?
Yeah. Try not to shoot it this time. Aqua Pura.
Okay.
And that is all for the settlement. Except I lied. There's more than meets the eye here.
What?
Welcome to the Institute's secret research lab. Remote FEV research outpost.